Philadelphia, where history and innovation intertwine. From the cobblestone streets, echoing with stories of revolution, to a skyline that reflects the city's bold future, this is a place where art, culture, and science flourish together. Philly is more than just a cornerstone of American history. It's a bubbling life sciences hub, shaping the future of modern medicine and technology. And we are going to check out one of the premier life science buildings, the Curtis. My name is KJ Kulik, and I'm the Assistant Vice President at Scheer Partners, a leading mid-Atlantic commercial real estate firm specializing in scientific real estate. As Philadelphia continues its transformation into a major life sciences hub, I'm exploring how the Curtis plays a role in this evolution. To learn more about the historic building, we're talking today to Jamie Rash, the Regional Director at Keystone. So obviously we're sitting in such a historic building here today. What was it for you that really proved that this building was going to be life science viable and now the budding ecosystem that it is today?
So back in 2020, our first lab tenant, Invax Therapeutics, moved into the building. They were spin out of Jefferson Health a couple blocks away. They really saw the beauty and the history of the building and kind of understood the infrastructure that was needed to build out their lab in the building. Once they were in here, we really started to dig into it and found that because the building was built as a printing press for the Curtis Publishing Company, it really had a lot of the bones that are needed for these life science fit outs. So it has incredibly heavy foreloads, which were needed for the printing presses. It's got high ceilings. It's got numerous exhaust shafts and ways to move air in and out of the building. We spent significant time kind of studying the building, understanding the full capabilities of what we could build here. We had to add some additional infrastructure on the exhaust side and the electrical side, but we really realized that we had the capabilities to scale the life sciences here. So we invested that capital back in 2021 and are still continuing to do so today. And since Invax's initial expansion, we've added another 100,000 square feet of life science tenants, and that continues to grow.
So would you say that Keystone is committed to the future of this building being life science focused?
Since COVID, obviously the way people work has changed. What we like to say is scientists can't work from home. It's a great use for the building. It brings vibrancy. Everybody's in here working every day. And again, we have the ability to scale the labs pretty significantly. So we invested additional capital this year. We're going to continue to do that. And that's the path forward for this building.
With a growing amount of employees now in this building, what kind of amenities are here for them to cater to the needs of collaboration and
Sure.
Eating, dining?
Yeah, so this building kind of has it all. It's a full city block. It's 1 million square feet. We have multiple food operations. We have a full service restaurant bar. We have a building cafe that does breakfast and lunch. We have a new coffee shop opening up in the fall. We have daycare. We have a barber shop. We have multiple medical, practices in here. We have parking. So it's kind of a work, live, play environment. We have 86 residential units. So some of our CEOs actually live in the building as well. So it's a perfect, environment for these companies to come in. Their staff don't have to leave the building in order to get food or do separate conferences. So it's really been beneficial to all the life science tenants here. We also have the Post, which is a 3,500 square foot tenant lounge that we built during COVID. It's really served as a great event space for kind of life science networking events, industry talks, things like that. You can fit up to 100 people in it. It's really been a great amenity for the building. Tenants can also come down and just have lunch, watch some TV, take a quick break. And that kind of plays into the atrium, which, we host much larger events here, up to 400 people. We've had a number of kind of, again, large industry biotech events in the space. So we can really accommodate anything from 25 people to 400 or 500 people in the building for events. And again, that's been really helpful for these companies that don't, have that space within their own space. The Curtis is really a 24/7 building. We have security in the building. There's roving security outside of the building. We have 24/7 engineers on site. In our valet garage, we have staff there 24/7. So again, it really gives comfort to the workers in the building. You don't have to call off site to get somebody to come here. There's always people on site, no matter what time of day, which just, again, really adds a sense of security and comfort for certainly the biotech companies that are here during longer hours than most office tenants would be.
Located at 601 Walnut Street, this prime spot offers easy access to public transportation and is in close proximity to top hospitals and universities, making it perfect for life science and medical tenants.
It's just very walkable. Dozens and dozens of restaurants within a short walk. You have multiple transit stops, parking garages, and then just a lot of green space. We like to say that the Curtis is located at America's front lawn, right? Because you're right across the street from Independence Hall. The country was founded. So you have this beautiful, historic, 120-year-old building in the most historic part of the city.
After chatting with Jamie and taking a walk through the inspiring Independence Square, I was ready to learn more about some of the tenants. One of them, an international network of shared lab and office spaces, was next on my list. I'd be sitting down with Melina, Blees, Site Director of Biolabs. So, as someone who has had exposure to both University City and now Old City, what are your favorite things you think about having your company based here at the Curtis?
Yeah, I mean, it's quality of life, right? I just love this neighborhood. It's an amazing place to grow your team, to recruit to, world-class restaurants, extremely easy public transit access, and it's just extremely central to Philly, right? If you need to get your samples to the airport, if you need to get down in the Navy Yard, over to University City, out to New Jersey, it's just extremely direct. But, folks have a really easy time convincing their scientists that they want to come to work in Old City. A lot of the scientists live within biking distance. A lot of the CEOs live within walking distance. It really is that kind of neighborhood.
Being a scientist or starting your own company might be a little lonely at times. You might seek some answers. Are you doing anything in the building right now to really build a community and get folks bumping elbows and talking to each other?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of what we do across the Biolabs network. We have a really amazing operations and events person, Larissa, who puts on all sorts of really cool social events for our members. We had a seedling day recently for them to share plants. Of course, lots of scientific events, lunch and learns, lectures, etc. But a big part of it is just creating spaces and bringing in companies who really do want to collaborate. And the whole point of being in a biolab space is not just the services and the equipment and the support. It's really about being around like-minded people, being around other entrepreneurs who have maybe done it before, who you can go to for advice, or folks in your office who you can, go out for a beer on a Friday. And a lot of times that turns into really valuable collaborations or connections or advice. And that has to happen by being in a space with other people. And then we run big ecosystem building events. So we run an annual tech transfer showcase with KJ Partners, a coalition of tech transfer offices. We run an annual investor day where we bring in out-of-market investors to meet Philadelphia companies. And then we run, this fall is the first time, we're trying a ecosystem-wide biotech jobs fair to help our member companies and the rest of Philadelphia connect with great talent.
So you have a lot of smaller scientific companies that approach you looking for their very first bench.
Yeah.
What is it that drew you to the Curtis as a location for these companies to get their start and then grow from there?
Yeah, for us, I mean, it's a huge part of what we're thinking about for these companies because, we like to support them for their first couple of really fragile years. But we also want to be thinking about what their path to clinic looks like. We really want to get this stuff into patients, right? We love the idea that at the Curtis, they can start here with biolabs, they can grow out into their own long-term space, and they can actually do everything up through cGMP manufacturing here in one building without having to wait for a new building to come up. So right across the hall there, across the atrium, that's Aero Biotherapeutics. They're a Biolabs alum who actually just closed their Series B round, just started their first clinical trial. One floor down is Invax, who's doing their manufacturing. Their clean rooms are actually here in the building for phase 2B, I believe.
The Curtis building beautifully combines historic charm with modern amenities. Its striking architecture reflects Philadelphia's rich past, while inside, its upgraded infrastructure, vibrant restaurants, and collaborative workspaces create an inspiring environment for innovation. With its prime location, offering easy access to public transportation, top hospitals, and universities, the Curtis is an ideal home for life science and medical tenants. The Curtis is driving the city's role in the global life science industry. I'm KJ Kulik, and it's been a privilege to explore how history and innovation converge here at the Curtis.